Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to study in situ density by sand replacement method. We have already studied in situ density by core cutter method. This is sand replacement method. Of course, both the methods find in situ density or field density. It is nothing but density of the soil as existing in the field. In core cutter method, core has to be driven into the soil, and then by excavating the surrounding soil, we bring the core back to the lab and do all the analysis. So obviously we assume that the soil is sticking to the surface of core, and the soil is such that core is not damaged when it is rammed into the soil. If there is a chance that the soil is having pebbles or grainy in nature, obviously the core cutter method fails, or you will not be able to conduct the test. In such circumstances, sand replacement method comes handy. We'll see that in further details. Okay, here there is an equipment. You can see that there are mainly three parts. The major part is sand pouring cylinder, which is referred to as SPC. How it is, it has got a cylinder, and then at the bottom you got a cone with annular ring, right? The same thing is shown over here. There is a cylinder in which the sand is stored, and here you can see that there is a knob which can open the flow of sand, and there is a conical shape at the bottom. This annular strip is not being shown here, but it will be there so that you can make it stand in a proper way. So that is SPC, sand pouring cylinder. Next you have is calibrating container. The schematic diagram would be very simple, and here it is inverted hat kind of figure, calibrating container. This is used for finding out density of the sand first, and then there is a tray with a hole. So this will be used for bringing the soil from a hole made on the ground. We'll see all the details. Okay. This method of sand replacement for finding out field density is particularly suitable for granular soils or pebbly soils. Means the soil will be having big pebbles that does not stick to the surface of the sampler. The reference can be made to IS 2720 part 28 1974. The equipment consists of sand pouring cylinder with cone at the bottom, calibrating container, and tray with a central hole. We have seen already all this. The work involves two stages. This is important. Two stages. Now let me mark that. Two stages, namely calibration of the container, that is first part, and then determination of volume of the hole. And second part, this is totally the first one. The second part, in this procedure, the sand to be used should be passing through, this is specification of the sand. Sand should be passing through 1 mm sieve. You can just see that it is passing through 1 mm sieve, but retained on 600 microns. So procedure wise, the work involves two stages, namely calibration of the container, that is the first, and determination of volume of the hole, that is second part. Of course, when you see all the details, you will be able to understand the whole thing. So from this slide, what you can understand or make a big note of it is the sand to be used is in between 1 mm and 0.6 mm, or above 600 microns and then below 1 mm, so that it is effortlessly flowing, right? It flows effortlessly. Otherwise, if the particles becomes too small, they will be sticking one to the other, and even when the particles become too large, they may not be able to flow properly. So this is the size range in such a manner that the sand particles will be easily flowing. Okay, we'll start the procedure wise. For the purpose of calibration of the container, clean, dry, uniformly graded medium size sand called standard sand is filled in sand pouring cylinder up to the top. Shutter is closed and weight of SPC is noted down, and that is W1. So in the figure also I have shown here, it is filled up with the sand, right? There is a conical portion, the knob is closed. Okay, this weight is W1, right? Then the SPC is placed on a smooth glass plate and the sand is allowed to run out of the cone. Weight of SPC after running sand into a cone is noted down, and that is W2. So here what I have done is, a glass plate is taken, on top of this is placed, open the knob for some time, see that the movement of the sand particles from the top are stopped, and then afterward close the knob and then take the weight of SPC with the remaining sand. And if it weighs W2, the difference W1 and W2 will be giving you weight of the sand that can fill the conical portion over here. So that mass is found, and that will be recognized or designated as W with suffix cone. Means it is weight of the sand which can fill the cone, right? So that is W1 minus W2. That's how we could find out the sand cone weight, or weight of the sand cone. Okay, here SPC is refilled and placed on the calibrating container, and sand is allowed to run out. Means the sand is refilled to W1, means again original weight of SPC along with the sand, that is W1. Now you place that on calibrating container like that, and then allow the soil to flow in. Now what happens is, when the soil moves inside, right, it will be filling calibrating container, plus there will be a conical portion which will be filled, and then you will be closing the knob and taking the weight, and that weight is W3. The weight of SPC is noted down after running the sand into calibrating container, that is W3. Now if I subtract W1 and W3, I'll be getting the weight of sand which has gone into the container plus cone. Now anyway I have this, what is the weight of the sand which goes into the cone, that also if I subtract, then I'll be getting only the weight of the sand which is there in the calibrating container. That is what is done here. Weight of the sand in calibrating container is equal to, I have called it as WCC, that is calibrating container. Weight of the sand in calibrating container is equal to W1 minus W3 minus W cone. W1 minus W3 gives you this, minus cone gives you only the calibrating container. Now volume of the calibrating container is determined as VCC. So because you will be noting down the diameter of this, inside diameter, inside height, and pi d squared by 4 into h will be giving you the volume of the calibrating container. Once you know VCC, then unit weight of the sand, gamma sand, can be found out. How weight of the sand filling the calibrating container is known, and volume of the calibrating container is also known. If you take the ratio, we will be getting gamma of sand. But rather than that, we call it as a density of the sand, so that it will be expressed in grams per cc, because this will be a mass rather than weight. So grams per cc would be the units in which the density of the sand is found. Next, now SPC with sand up to W1 is taken to the field. Again you refill. Now if you go back to the earlier slide, here I have left with W3 because I have filled the thing. Now you take out all this sand, refill it, make it W1. There again it is starting point. So SPC with sand up to W1 is taken to the field where the bulk unit weight of the soil is to be found. The surface is cleaned and leveled. So when you go onto the surface, you clean the surface, remove all the vegetable, pebbles, etc. Make it level, right? Then the tray with a central hole is placed in position. You place it. A hole is approximately the same size as calibrating container is dug. So when you excavate the soil should not be spilled here and there. That's why there is a container. Whatever soil that you remove from the hole made through this particular hole, it has to be stored in the surrounding of that hole, in the tray itself. Right? Approximately the diameter of the hole made will be equal to this. The depth will be around 15 centimeter, equal to the depth of the calibrating container. Of course, you will not be able to make exactly cylindrical, but there will be rough surfaces, but that is not the matter because it is expected to be like that only. Whatever is possible, you just remove the soil and make sure that the soil is stored, right? And then the removed soil is collected on the sides of the tray and its weight is noted down, W soil. So when you go to the lab, you have to find out the weight of this particular soil which is collected from the field, and that is W soil. Now what is next done is, you can hear, the SPC is placed on the hole and sand is allowed to run in the hole. So you have made the hole, now you place exactly on top of it the sand pouring cylinder and allow the sand to flow. Now what happens is the sand fills the hole, plus it fills the conical portion also, and when the movement of the sand is stopped after a minute or so, you can close the knob and bring it to the lab and try to find out the weight. So you will be leaving this particular sand which has gone into the hole plus conical portion there only. You will be bringing only the leftover sand, and that is W4. So SPC is placed on the hole and sand is allowed to run into the hole. Weight of SPC plus the remaining sand is noted down, and that is W4. Now weight of the sand in the hole, if I want to find out this, then what I should do is the whole W1 minus W4, which gives you this particular part. From that you remove the cone, because anyway we know the weight of the sand in the cone. So W1 minus W4 minus W cone will be giving you weight of the sand which has gone into the hole only. Now volume of the hole made into the soil, volume of the hole are equal to volume of the soil removed is equal to this weight, the weight of the sand which has gone into the hole W5 divided by gamma of sand. That will be giving you volume of the hole made. Once you know the volume of the hole made, already we know how much is the weight of the soil or mass of the soil. So mass of the soil removed divided by volume of the soil as existing in the field itself will be giving you gamma of soil. So W of soil divided by V of soil will be giving you unit weight of the soil or density of the soil. So this is how one can find out the unit weight or field density of the soil as existing in the field. Now to ascertain this in more effective manner, we solve some numerical problems from one of the books. The results of field density tests conducted using sand replacement method are as follows. Now what is given? The mass of the sand filling the calibrating container calibrating cylinder of 1000 ml capacity was found to be 1540. So directly they have given that sand which goes only in the calibrating container has got 1000 ml capacity, right? How do we make use of this? What we can do is, you can just see a gamma of sand can be found, because 1540 grams divided by 1000, that will be 1.54 grams per cc would be the sand unit weight or sand density. Okay, now next, the mass of the sand filling the cone portion of the sand is equal to 430 grams. So whatever we have written as W cone, right, that will be 430. Now mass of excavated soil is 923. Now mass of SPC, look at the data, mass of SPC plus sand before pouring it into pit will be equal to 5330. Now mass of SPC plus sand after pouring it into the pit is 4152. Now this difference, and then from that if you subtract 430, you will be getting mass of the sand which has gone only into the hole. That is what we are trying to do here. Okay, now you can just see here 5330 minus 4152 minus 430, because that is what is sand cone, that will be giving you 748. So this will be mass of the sand in the hole, 748 grams. Okay, now from that volume of the hole can be found, which is 748 grams divided by 1.54 grams per cc. So this will be giving you 485.7 cc as the volume of the hole made. So 485.7 cc is volume of the hole made. Now mass of excavated soil, mass of excavated soil is given, 923 is given. So 923 divided by 485.7 will give you so many grams per cc as 1.9 grams per cc. Then gamma D, that is dry density, is equal to gamma B divided by 1 plus W. You know the standard formula. So already we have calculated this as 1.9 divided by 1 plus 9% they have given. So 1.09 will be giving you gamma D or dry density, which is 1.743 grams per cc. With this we come to an end of this session as well as module number 1. It is a vast subject. Almost all the concepts are new to you. You have to study them thoroughly. So make sure when you attend for the next class, you'll be knowing all this, and we'll be starting with the second module. In that second part, that is compaction, will be taken in the next session. We'll stop here. Thank you.